And Allen Iverson did not disappoint, staging a wild and dramatic shootout.
6 times. 6 of the greatest players in NBA history, not role players, not good players, superstars, went completely silent at the exact moment their franchises needed them most. The box scores survived, the missed shots, the passive fourth quarters.
This guy now, he already had in that first half.
Whiteside couldn't get the tip.
The inexplicable stillness from players who had spent their entire careers demanding the ball in those moments. All of it got recorded, analyzed, and replayed every time someone needs evidence in an argument. But the box score only shows you what happened. Here's why.
Wade. James for 3.
6. Vince Carter. 2001 Eastern Conference Semifinals. Game 7.
Another sensational move by Vince Carter.
Raptors fans have been replaying this moment for over 20 years, and most of them still don't know the full story of what happened before the ball was even tipped. May 20th, 2001. Toronto versus Philadelphia.
Brilliant corner, fires and hits. Allen Iverson.
Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals. Allen Iverson's 76ers, the most dangerous team in the East. The Raptors, with Vince Carter at his absolute peak. A top 10 player in the world. The most electric human being in professional basketball. The game went down to the wire.
It's Carter. And Carter with the shot. Carter with the tip.
As the Raptors furiously worked at getting open, Carter caught the ball, pumped once to shake off Aaron McKie, and launched a jumper just inside the three-point line from the left baseline. Carter's jumper clanged off iron. The Sixers advanced, 88-87. Carter shot just 6-18 from the floor and missed the game-winning shot at the buzzer.
Listen to this crowd.
He admitted afterward that he was winded early, that he was trying too hard, tiring himself out. If you grew up watching this team, here's what the broadcast left out. The do-or-die contest fell on the same day as his graduation ceremony from the University of North Carolina.
Game 2 here at the First Union Center in Philadelphia, where Vince
Carter chose to attend the ceremony and fly to Philadelphia later that day. A top 10 player in the NBA at the time, Carter flew from Chapel Hill, NC to Philadelphia on Raptors part owner Larry Tannenbaum's jet, arriving to join the team around midday.
Allen for the record!
He arrived at noon or 5 hours before tip-off, and so Vince took an early morning flight, arrived at UNC at around 8:30 a.m. When the ceremony began, he marched to the stage with the other graduates, and after just 20 or so minutes, he hurriedly left and flew to Philly.
The Philadelphia 76ers in Game 1.
Here's the footnote that makes the whole story stranger. Carter did not get his diploma that day because, according to a school official, North Carolina undergraduates received theirs via mail. He made that trip on the morning of the biggest game of his career for a 20-minute walk across a stage.
Let's play. So coming up round...
He doesn't regret a second of it. He said, "I wanted to accomplish both goals. That was the greatest moment of my life." You can't fully argue with him. He grew up in a family of educators. His mom and stepdad, Harry Robinson, were both school teachers.
Another sensational move by Vince Carter.
Education meant a lot to Carter, but a franchise that had never reached a conference finals watched that ball rattle off the rim. It remains a seminal moment in Raptors history because it represented the beginning of the end of the Vince era in Toronto.
Brilliant corner, fires and hits. Allen Iverson.
History is unforgiving, the what-ifs are permanent, and the next superstar on this list didn't fly anywhere the day of his biggest game. He was right where he was supposed to be. The problem is, and someone got inside his head before the ball was ever inbounded.
It's Carter. And Carter with the shot. Carter with the tip.
5. Karl Malone, 1997 NBA Finals, Game 1.
Malone off the pick and roll.
You have to understand what the Chicago Bulls were doing in 1997, not just as a basketball team, but as a psychological operation, to fully appreciate how this moment was built. June 1st, 1997, Utah Jazz versus Chicago Bulls, Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Open shot for
The score was tied at 82 with 9.2 seconds left. Karl Malone, aka the Mailman, stepped to the free throw line with the opportunity to deliver the Jazz a victory. Hit 1, Utah leads. Hit 2, they go up by 2 with 9 seconds left. Malone was a career 74.2% free throw shooter. Solid. Reliable, always delivers. Pippen was hoping to cut the right chord to make Malone's confidence go haywire. He leaned in and delivered one of the greatest lines of trash talk in NBA history. "The mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays." Pippen said it was off the top of his head. Freestyle. He later clarified it wasn't personal. Malone was his friend off the court, would sometimes pick him up from the airport when Utah played in Chicago. Malone missed both attempts from the charity stripe. It opened the door for Michael Jordan to hit a game-winning jumper at the buzzer to give the Bulls an 84-82 victory. Here's what doesn't get talked about enough. Malone didn't just crack under trash talk. He cracked because the Bulls had spent years building a psychological ecosystem designed to break opponents before the fourth quarter even started. Rodman's chaos was a weapon. Jordan's competitive stare was a weapon. Pippen's surgical, precise strikes were a weapon. Phil Jackson weaponized calm, the most terrifying thing you can do to a desperate team in a pressure moment. The Jazz came back the following year. Same opponent, same result. 4-2. 11 All-Star appearances, 2 league MVPs, a Hall of Fame career built on unmatched consistency. The league remembers the rings. The fans remember everything else. The player at number 4 didn't face a dynasty. He faced something the NBA had no language for yet. 4. Ben Simmons, 2021 Eastern Conference Semifinals, Game 7.
Covington. If you have not seen this young man play.
Every other player on this countdown made a choice, consciously or not, under enormous pressure. What happened to Ben Simmons in 2021 was something else entirely, something the NBA had no institutional framework to address publicly. Game 7, Philadelphia 76ers versus Atlanta Hawks, Eastern Conference Semifinals.
Olynyk crossed him up. Oh, he's in his bag. They lulled him to sleep. He lulled him to...
The Sixers had finished with the best record in the Eastern Conference, after a stellar regular season, where Simmons finished second in the Defensive Player of the Year race, and was named an All-Star and a member of the All-Defensive First Team. He suddenly couldn't find his rhythm or confidence in the second round, especially at the free throw line.
That's that turning of the head business. This is just good basketball. Just watch the cut. See, they caught.
The tension peaked during a pivotal moment late in the game. With the Sixers trailing by 2 and just 3 minutes left on the clock, Simmons broke free from his defender, leaving him wide open with a clear path for a layup or dunk.
Ain't new. I'm coming right back and in the advantage. Left-handed, easy. Bender.
Yet, instead of seizing the opportunity, he passed the ball to Matisse Thybulle, who was subsequently fouled. Thybulle made one of 2 free throws. The Sixers lost.
By over Richardson. With over 8 again. Just watch it as he comes down in.
Stay with me, because that moment was not a basketball decision. As Atlanta continued to intentionally foul him throughout the series, he fell deeper into a mental funk that ultimately affected his overall performance on the court. Every whistle was a public event. Every trip to the line was another repetition of the story the entire basketball world was telling about him.
Because he's going, and now he just comes right back. You're anticipating him getting into the...
In the 7-game series, Simmons attempted just 3 shots total during the fourth quarter. 3. Not 3 in Game 7. 3 in the entire series. Danny Green shared that everyone in the building knew something was wrong. That play in real time, everybody in the building was like, What the K is going on?
Just blew right by.
James Johnson couldn't corral that pass from Dragic.
Simmons later told his former teammate J.J. Redick directly, "I was in such a bad place where I was like, I'm trying to get here and you guys are throwing all these other things at me where you're not helping. And that's all I wanted was help."
Out Miami, how were you able to do that in your first playoff game?
Everybody locking in and buying into the team's defense.
He never played another game for Philadelphia. After that, his confidence dwindled, his performance dropped, mental health problems started to appear, and in the end, Simmons lost his passion for the sport that made him who he is. The fines eventually totaled a head-spinning $17 million.
He's this year. He's not bashful. He'll do it from the corner and also at the top of the circle.
A gifted playmaker who used his towering height and otherworldly athleticism to create easy opportunities for his teammates and defend multiple positions, the sky seemed to be the limit for Simmons. First overall pick in the 2016 draft, a 6'10" point guard with vision and athleticism the league had never seen combined in one body.
Postseason's supposed to be different than the regular season, and yet you come out here and have this type of game and your team blows.
The NBA has never seen anything like him, and because of what happened on that baseline in June 2021, it may never again. The player at number 3 doesn't have a mental health story, he has a physical one, and a dynasty window that shattered before it ever truly opened.
That's that turning of the head business. This is just good basketball. Just watch the cut. See, they caught.
3. James Harden, 2021 Eastern Conference Semifinals, Game 5.
Put that pressure on him as you see there.
James Harden, the penetration.
Here's what the 2021 Brooklyn Nets were supposed to be. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, 3 of the 10 best offensive players alive, on the same roster, theoretically at the same time. When they were healthy and in sync, there was no defensive answer.
James Harden, hammer jam for the beard. Harden's off.
None. Harden left less than a minute into Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against Milwaukee with a right hamstring injury, potentially dealing a huge blow to Brooklyn's championship hopes. 43 seconds. That's how long the dynasty lasted before it started coming apart.
Advantage on other teams, whether it's Milwaukee or potentially Philly or potentially...
Harden had already missed 20 games during the regular season because of problems with the hamstring. He had appeared healthy coming into the playoffs. And then 43 seconds in, before most fans had settled into their seats, it went again. He missed the first 4 games.
Kyrie lost it on the Euro, and a foul was called.
And you gotta love that early...
Since returning in Game 5, after Kyrie Irving also fell out with an ankle injury, Harden had not looked good physically. When he came back for Game 5, here's what you need to understand about what you were watching. Harden scored 0 points and shot 0-6 from the field in a playoff half for the first time in his career.
Harden, step back. Bottom for the beard.
Not 6 poor attempts, 6 attempts, 0 made, scoreless. Visually, it was obvious. He couldn't explode off the dribble, couldn't create separation, couldn't do the things James Harden does that nobody else in the league does. He played through it. That is not nothing. He could have sat, he played.
Walker and Robert Williams being out for a second straight game, the Celtics more accustomed to it.
Kevin Durant exploded for 49 points that night, but Brooklyn lost in 7, and the big 3 that was supposed to reshape the Eastern Conference never got its real run. Not one full, healthy playoff series together. The real reason James Harden disappeared when Brooklyn needed him is documented in the medical report from Game 1.
Appreciate how quickly he popped up, though. Going back.
Yeah, that's another good sign.
He was playing at a fraction of his physical capacity in the most important series that franchise had ever played, while everything around him came apart simultaneously. The NBA does not wait for you to be ready. The player at number 2 doesn't have an injury to point to. His disappearance is the one that will genuinely make you reconsider everything you thought you knew about him.
Durant gives it up. James Harden has 23 points, 18 assists.
2. Kobe Bryant, 2006 NBA playoffs, first round Game 7.
Bingo! That's 11 in a row for the guys.
If you're a real student of this game, the premise of this entry should feel wrong. Kobe Bryant does not belong on a list like this. Mamba mentality, the fourth quarter, the ice.
Clippers on top. The ground just has those small and bad hands. Difficulty hanging on.
Everything about his competitive identity was built on performing when performance was demanded most, which is exactly what makes April 30th, 2006 so unsettling. Game 7, Los Angeles Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns. First round of the Western Conference playoffs. The Lakers were the 7th seed. Nobody gave them a chance.
The only reason he gets away with it is because the ball was not controlled. And Cook gets the bucket.
And then Kobe took over the first 6 games in a way that bordered on supernatural, individual performances that almost willed a patchwork roster past a superior opponent. The series was tied 3-3 heading to Phoenix. Bryant came out firing in Game 7, scoring 23 first-half points on 8-13 shooting, but the Lakers still trailed 60-45 at the half.
Corner, bingo. Did you see the look on Quentin Ross's face? Lakers a chance to take.
That's when Kobe stopped shooting. He took only 2 shots in the third quarter, both 3-pointers, and missed. In the fourth quarter, he took only one field goal attempt. Kobe finished the game with 24 points. The Suns ended up blowing out the Lakers 121-90. Even head coach Phil Jackson said afterward, "Did he score in the second half?"
Get ready. He'll be dialing up his number 8 a lot.
There's too much.
I couldn't remember him scoring. I'm sure Kobe could have mustered up a 50-point game, but that wasn't going to put us in the ball game. I trust his judgment in that ball game.
Face of the other Laker players.
Ross attached to his hip. Makes no difference.
Here's the real reason, and this is the one that will sit with you. His teammate Jim Jackson believes that Kobe was trying to prove a point.
Purple and gold.
What is that? No, misses the shot.
Have you ever missed?
The Lakers were a team that was very flimsy and nowhere near championship status. Rather than going for 50 and losing by 30, rather than winning an individual battle while the team lost a war, Kobe passed, over and over, to make it impossible for anyone in the front office to ignore what the roster around him actually was.
He is so good on the break.
He'll be a one-man wrecking crew the rest of the way.
He was on.
Whether he was proving a point or it was just an off game will forever remain a mystery. This is the part that makes you genuinely uncomfortable, because it's the most Kobe explanation possible. Even in a disappearance, looking for the angle that wins the longer strategic game. One postseason, one decision that nobody has ever fully resolved.
Well, you wonder why some big guys haven't just begged him. You know,
the most competitive player of his generation, silent when the game was on the line, and maybe, just maybe, it was on purpose. The superstar at number 1 wasn't making a statement. He was trying to win. He just couldn't find himself when it mattered most. And the reasons run deeper than most people have ever acknowledged.
Brown makes a face-up jumper. He has 9 points.
1. LeBron James, 2011 NBA Finals.
He's in attack mode. Once he gets the basketball, making a play. James and Bosh.
Set aside the narrative you've been handed, the passive basketball, the villain arc, the debate that's been running for 15 years. Put it down for a second. Because this story starts 18 months before the first tip of the 2011 NBA Finals, in a television studio in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Ray puts it in.
July 8, 2010, LeBron James, live nationwide, announces he is leaving Cleveland for Miami. He goes, overnight, from the most beloved player in the sport to the most hated. Jersey burnings. His owner's open letter. A city that had been waiting for decades, feeling publicly abandoned. LeBron James later admitted exactly what that did to him.
To keeping balls alive and giving them second opportunity. Chalmers comes right back.
I took the villain role because I let the media. I was young. I was 25 years old. A lot of people don't understand. That was the first time I'd ever left my home. I didn't know or feel like the hate that I got from that, the backlash from that, was going to happen. So I allowed the media, I allowed everybody to put me in a dark place.
Wade. James for 3.
That darkness followed him into June 2011. Up 2-1 in the NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks, the Heat were 10 minutes away from taking a commanding 3-1 series lead after erecting a 74-65 lead in the fourth. What followed was an indictment of LeBron's ability to finish games when the stakes were at their very highest.
He's back to Wade. Good finish.
James, who shot the ball only once in the fourth quarter, slowly walks to the locker room. In Game 4, James shot just 3-11 and scored only 8 points. 0 fourth quarter points. Dallas won 86-83. The series shifted. The Heat never recovered. His teammate Eddie House reflected on it. It was almost like, I'm here, but I'm not.
Lines it up, knocks down the shot. He's been very effective.
He went from averaging 26.7 points per game during the regular season to just 17.8 points per game during the finals. Dirk Nowitzki, playing through a significant finger injury he'd been managing the entire postseason, was still closing out games. He was the picture of will.
James for 3, puts it in.
LeBron was the picture of something else. LeBron James said it himself. The reason I played the way I played in the finals is because I wasn't me. Here is the full picture that never gets painted completely. He walked into those finals with a super team that had been together for exactly 1 season.
Jason Terry back in 2006, he had a couple of 30-point games in those finals.
The system around him, with Pat Riley operating above the head coach, with Dwayne Wade as the team's established closer, with a role in crunch time that had never been fully defined, had no clean answer for who was supposed to have the ball in the final minute. And inside all of that was a man who had spent 12 months being called a traitor by the entire sport he loved.
On rebounds, but when you turn it over, they are
The narrative pressure had become suffocating rather than energizing. His need for recognition, the external validation that had always driven him, had been turned against him. That does not leave you at tip-off. It follows you into the fourth quarter. LeBron James won 4 championships.
Keeping balls alive and giving them second opportunities.
Chalmers comes right back.
He later said, "The Mavericks are probably the reason why I am who I am today." The NBA does not bury its hardest nights. It keeps them filed, ready to surface when you least need it. LeBron found that out in June 2011. He rebuilt himself completely in the years that followed, and he never needed to be reminded again.
He's in attack mode once he gets the basketball, making a play. James and Bosh all